Hi, I'm Dr. Steve T. Cho, and I'm the undergraduate chair of the TEM department. Welcome to TEM 501, Technology Entrepreneurship. I will be your instructor this semester, and why am I teaching you? What credentials do I have? Well, I've got some pedigree, meaning I've got 4 college degrees, including a PhD and an MBA. I attended such schools as MIT, Michigan, and UCLA. One reason why I don't mention Ohio State, well, let's just say there was a woman involved. Anyway, I have a bunch of different minors, and I consider my secret weapon to be my minor in creative writing and literature. Because when it comes to communication, if you can communicate in stories, you have a huge advantage. I've written a bunch of papers since I've been here at ASU. I should probably write more. I'm just too busy. In terms of research, my doctoral thesis is actually in textbooks. And I have a bunch of patents, and this is the one I'm most renowned for, and that's the microgyroscope. It was a big enough deal that Steve Jobs talked about it. And you have 3 of them in your cell phone. It measures rotation of objects. Thanks to me, you can play video games on your phone. But here's the other reason why I'm here before you. And that's that before I came here to ASU, I had a 30-year industrial career. I started at the bottom. I dug ditches. I carried concrete along the interstate. I cleaned toilets. And I'm glad I had those experiences because it taught me hard work, getting your hands dirty. And also some of those were great opportunities. For example, I dug graves. Well, people were dying to get that job. Anyway, I started as a bench engineer and they just kept promoting me until I became chief technology officer. I've been in companies from Fortune 500 to startups before I came here. I've worked in 8 different industries. Quite frankly, every job I've ever had, I didn't have the foggiest idea of how it worked. But they kept hiring me. And I've worked in different places around the world, primarily East Asia and Europe. And I'm here to share my experiences with you. You're not just getting an egghead view of entrepreneurship as somebody who read an entrepreneurship book. You're getting an education from someone who not only knows entrepreneurship, but knows industry and technology. Why should you become an entrepreneur? One is because you want to control your future. You're going to go along in life, and you're going to see a problem, and you're going to think of a solution. So you want to make a product or company, but you don't know how. And so what are your options? Well, option 1 is just give up. Yeah, you start making all the excuses on earth of why you couldn't do it. And you'll go on with your life. And you'll get older. And then you die. Or you can learn how. Entrepreneurship is one of the cornerstones of ASU. There's so many resources around here. It's just amazing. And we'll give you a map of how to do it. We'll teach you the tactics. And we'll help you develop your vision. The thing is, fear is about the unknown. And so now that it's known, you know what to do. You'll get a team together, you'll make the climb, you make it to the top, and then you get to harvest. I used to tell my young engineers, once in your life, go join a startup. And part of it is the world just isn't a stable place. I mean, look what's happening. I mean, whoever thought that COVID would have taken place? And then all these, the black swan And now AI wiping out jobs. You just have no idea of what's going to happen. And the problem is corporate America doesn't care about you. The easiest way they can save money is by firing you. And so who's going to look after you? Who's going to take care of you? Here's the dark side of industry. And that's that technology initially helped us be more productive. And then what happened is then technology became about replacing people. And so the wealth of technology didn't go towards people anymore. And if you look at the curves of this, first it started with the semiconductor. And then it was the internet and the cloud. And now we're going to see what I call the nuclear event, meaning the replacement of silicon might be 5 to 10 times more data than what silicon does. And all of a sudden, that big a jump, somebody is going to come up with some big idea using AI or something that's going to change everything. The thing about wealth is it's been going to the top 1%. As you can see, the bottom 50%, the share of wealth gets less and less and less. And you see it today. Here's the thing about manufacturing. Everybody says it's because of offshoring and foreigners and stuff like that. The hard reality is we've lost a lot more jobs to AI. It's not about offshoring that's killing us. The thing is 47% of the industries can be replaced by AI, but only 28% of companies have been successful at doing digital transformations. The reason why is when we think about technology and digital technology, who should be in charge? Is it the software guy or the hardware guy? No, they just write code or, put circuits together. Is it the guys who come up with algorithms? They're just math guys. So you need somebody who's a domain expert. If you're a marketing company, you need a marketing person in charge, but a marketing person who understands what the technology will do. There's not enough leaders out there to do this, and that's why you are so important. Whether you make a startup or not, the world needs these kinds of people. Here's the truth about your career. It's a stack. At the bottom of the stack is you need hard skills. You need to be able to do my books or make a website or do something tangible. On top of that, then you have job skills. And that could be like leadership or teamwork or project management. And then above that, you have career skills. Are you the person who could see opportunity? Are you a person who could have vision? Are you the person who can innovate, who can create something new? The thing is, if you have good hard skills, that puts you in the 50th percentile. Meaning, yeah, you have hard skills, but so does somebody else. If you're a good employee, that puts you in the 20th percentile. But that means you have a 1 out of 5 chance of getting let go. And when you hit the age of 50, that percentage of 20% starts going down very rapidly. But if you're the person who has career skills, you're in the top 1%. You have a career that never ends. Somebody will always want you. I've been removed from industry for about 10 years now, and I still get calls once in a while of people wondering if I'm interested in coming back. Where am I going to get my hard skills? Through internships. Education experience gives you job skills, but it's through this education you will develop your career skills. That's why you're here. You're here because you want to learn. You want an education. Otherwise, you would take a whole bunch of Udemy classes or something like that. That's not education. Those are training classes. Huge, huge difference. Education is about shaping the way you think. Now, in terms of your career, if you have hard skills, you have a 5 to 10 year career because your skills will obsolesce. So as people say, hey, I just got a certificate. Well, every 5 to 10 years, they have to go out and get a new certificate. So they spend their entire life just chasing certificates and hoping they can hang on. After a 30-year career, when you hit 50, here's the problem. People, when they're around 40, stop growing. They stop learning. And so now, basically, I'm paying you because you're a good employee. And what happens to these people is they suddenly realize, wait a minute, this guy is overpaid for what he's actually contributing. And so what happens is they cut you loose. And then you go out there and find out nobody's willing to pay you the same money that you used to make. As a matter of fact, it's like half. And the reason why is they were paying you because you knew HP. But if you try to go over to Cisco, Cisco doesn't care about your HP knowledge. And that's what we refer to as institutional skills. And I really feel for those people who are out on the street when they hit 50 because they're too old to really want to start over. And they've made a certain lifestyle for themselves. And so they pretty much put themselves into a trap. And then finally, career skills. If you're the person who can think conceptually and problem solve, you have a career that never ends. Own your future. If you are an entrepreneur and something goes wrong in your career, you can always start your own business. You own your future. Somebody is not dictating it to you. Now, the second reason why is the pie. What do I mean by that? I created the microgyroscope. First person in the world to do it. And billions of these devices have been made. And so, how was I rewarded? I got a $2,000 raise. Now, once we take out FICA, state income tax, federal income tax, divide that by 24 pay periods, I saw an extra $46.92 in my paycheck. Now, my girlfriend said, "What does this mean?" And I said, "It means we can go out to dinner an extra time every month. Just don't order any expensive alcohol." And so, if you're a creative person and are creating something of worth, you want a piece of the pie. You don't want it. A corporation will take the whole thing. You want to keep it for yourself. You want to be rewarded. The third reason why you should become an entrepreneur is, do you get bored? Do you sit in class and want to explode because of how slow things are doing, or you see things that nobody else sees? Here's the problem. Your job has limits to it. And if your dreams are bigger than your job, you hit the wall and ceiling and you go crazy. By creating your own business, you've got something that will fulfill what your dreams and hopes are. Learn entrepreneurship because you learn how to take care of yourself, because nobody else will. The crux of it all is, if you smoke every day, you're going to die 10 years early. If you're obese, you're going to die 14 years early. But if you do something you don't like, you get to die every day. Find your voice. This is my vision for my students. Find your voice. Don't listen to what mommy and daddy is or expectations. What is it that you want to do? Once you know your voice, you can start pursuing your dreams. And then you can own your future. Now, why is the wheel the most important invention in human history? Because it started a revolution? Anyway, yeah, you now know what to expect. The objective of this course is that if you have an idea, how do I translate it into a business? You'll taught how. But in order to turn it into a business, you need to know technology. You need to analyze an opportunity, and you need to understand how to build it on your own. That's what this course is fundamentally about. So it's technology, analyzing, and building one of your own. The thing is, I can't cover every topic in depth. So what I'm doing is introducing you to the topic, and then if you want to go into more depth, you can. It's in other classes. This class is strategic in nature. It will give you a roadmap to entrepreneurship. I focus on concepts. Here's the thing about frameworks and everything else, or how, like W.P. Carey will teach you in terms of details. You can't remember it all, but concepts are easy to remember. If you understand the idea of something, you can apply it to many different scenarios. And so what I want you to do is walk away with the mindset of an entrepreneur. And so you can navigate uncertainty and contradictions. It's about critical thinking. And in order to be a good critical thinker, you need insight and rigor. The nature of this class is to teach you skills, to shape your thinking, and to give you knowledge, because that's what you need right now, is knowledge. I'm going to try to give you what you need if you want to be an entrepreneur. So welcome aboard.